Hey, welcome everybody. Today, I'm going to share with you a freight broker sales hack, right? A freight broker sales hack that is designed to help you stand out from the crowd. So, listen, attention. This is something I haven't really talked about before. It's something I'm really excited to share with you guys. So, thank you for joining me. Again, it's Monday and this is my Freight Broker Bootcamp Live. I am live. It is 12:01 on Monday, July 24th. I'm leaving for vacation in about a week. We're going to Greece. So we're excited about that. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that afterwards. But listen, today I'm excited you're here. Do me a huge favor. Hit me up in the comments with the city and state you're logging in from, and I'll give you some shout outs. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to do some shout outs. Then we're going to jump into the training. Then we'll probably do a live giveaway like I usually do. Maybe a Freightpreneur t-shirt, someone who solves problems you don't know you have in ways you can't understand. And then we'll go into live Q&A. So if you have questions about this training or how to become a freight broker, how to become a freight agent, freight broker sales, marketing, finding your niche, whatever it is, I will do my absolute best at the end of this live to answer your questions. Okay, so that's what this is all about. That's the agenda today. We got a bunch of people that are joining us live now. Thank you so much. I'll start giving some shout outs here. We got Ellie Decker, welcome from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Connor from Armenia, he's always here. Elke's always here. Ludmila from Chicago. Diane from West Palm Beach, Florida. Corey from Billings, Montana. Corey, I'm actually Montana. You probably hard to believe is on my bucket list. I got to get to Montana. I'm a big hunter, big fisherman, big outdoorsman. I'm dying to get to Montana sometime soon, maybe in the next couple of years. Inder from Delhi, India. Congratulations. Welcome for joining halfway around the globe. Jose from Colorado Springs. We got NextLink from Valley Stream, New York. We got Jomo Mighty from Florida, as always. We got Devin from Markham, Illinois. Kelly Medina from Columbus, Georgia. Man, we got people from all over the place. This is awesome. Barbie from Lawrenceville, Georgia. We've got Scott from Mohali, India. So we got 2 or 3 people from India already. Jim Hand. Haven't seen my friend Jim in a while. Welcome, my friend from Illinois. Pontus from Malmo. I don't know where that is. Wish I did. Favor Scrubs from Baltimore, Maryland. Edalvis Gomez from Chicago, Illinois. I apologize if I murder your name. The type is very small and I suck at pronouncing names. Zoran from Macedonia. I think we have as many people from outside of the United States and from other countries as we do from the US. So that's exciting. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate you guys joining me live. We're going to get started. The agenda today is very simple. We're going to do the live training where I'm going to talk about a freight broker sales hack to stand out from the crowd. I'm going to share that with you. Here's my notes. Okay. And secondly, I'm going to do a giveaway, probably a Freightpreneur t-shirt, maybe cash. We'll see what happens. We'll see how I feel and how time is looking on the clock. And then number 3, we will do a live Q&A. That's where you can type your questions in. Now hold your questions to the end, because if you type them in now, or you type them in the middle of the training, or you type them in during the giveaway, I'm not going to see them. And I'm not going to be able to answer them. So you got to hold your questions till the end. Okay. So let me grab a quick drink. By the way, they're not a paid sponsor. I don't do sponsorships, but this is my favorite new drink. It's called Killcliff Ignite. And it's the flavor is Flaming Joe. If you guys like Joe Rogan, I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan. You can see it. It's like a spicy pineapple. Dude, it is the bomb. It's amazing. You can actually see Joe Rogan's face on there in the form of a pineapple, which is kind of wacky. But yeah, I tried it. Veteran-owned company. Dude, I'm loving it. I'm telling everybody about it. Anyway, it's got 25 grams of CBD. It's got no sugar, right? I think this has the CBD in it. Pretty sure it does. Anyway, yeah, it's an energy drink, but it doesn't have sugar. So here you go. All right, cool. So we got a lot of people joining us live. Thank you so much for being here. Again, these are the notes. Let me shut my notifications off because they're going crazy in the background. Sorry about that. Boom, focus. Do not disturb. All right, cool. So we shouldn't be getting those notification dings. Let me see. I got to pop over here. Hold on. Just let me do a little prep here because I do want to share something with you during this. Okay, cool. All right. So today I'm going to share with you a freight broker sales hack to help you stand out from the crowd. Now, whether you're a freight broker or you're in real estate or you're in the insurance industry or you're a car salesman or whatever industry you're in, one of the biggest challenges is differentiating yourself as a company and as a salesperson, obviously, and as a product and service. But as a salesperson, you are charged and you are paid to get people's attention. You are paid to stand out from the crowd. And that's what the top salespeople are able to do. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do that, but this sales hack today is something I don't see any freight brokers using, and I don't see any freight broker trainers talking about. Now, of course, after I do this video, they'll all start talking about it because imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but that's okay. So without further ado, the sales hack that I want to share with you today is leveraging video in your prospecting and sales efforts. All right. So why did I decide on this today? I had thought about this for a while now because, you know, guys, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn and I have the LinkedIn app on my phone. And what you probably don't realize is that the LinkedIn app, in the messenger component of the LinkedIn app, it actually has a place where you can actually create a short video in LinkedIn Messenger and send it to one of your contacts, one of your prospects, one of your customers, one of your connections. So it's built right into the app. You don't have to have a separate app or anything special to do that. And you can send somebody a video. Now, why? You know, that was just my initial idea. And then I said, you know what? There's other ways to use video besides just LinkedIn. Although I think it's an amazing way to differentiate yourself on LinkedIn is by using short videos. So the two ways that I believe freight brokers can truly benefit and get more customers using video is one, using it as a way to stand out during cold outreach, whether that be through email or through LinkedIn. Predominantly, those two channels is how you would stand out using video, right? And then number two would be, it's a great way to reconnect with prospects that maybe have went cold somewhere in the sales cycle, right? Maybe they've ghosted you. Maybe they went cold. Maybe you just haven't been able to get them back on the phone or respond to an email. So those are the two primary ways that I think freight brokers could start leveraging video as a way to get more customers. And the key there, again, is to differentiate yourself. You've heard me say it before, different is better than better. That's Sally Hogshead. She said that many, many times. And she and you are probably sick and tired of hearing me say that. But different is better than better. And this is one of the ways you can be different and stand out from the crowd. Okay. So those are the two ways that I recommend you use it. Now, why video? Okay. Why should you consider start using video as a freight broker or freight agent during your outreach and sales efforts? Okay. Number one, it gets people's attention. 80% of people, okay, would prefer to watch a short video versus the 20% that would prefer to read text. Okay? It's that simple. Video is the world we live in. It's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's LinkedIn. Everything is video. So, you need to be, and the reason why everything is video is because it's the way that consumers and buyers prefer to consume their information. Okay. So number one, it's going to get their attention because that's where people's attention are. Video. That's number one. Number two, video builds trust faster than any other medium. Phone, even still images, right? Video, other than face-to-face, right? Face-to-face is probably the only exception to that. If you can get face-to-face, shake somebody's hand, sit down across the table from them. But unfortunately, you can't do that in every situation, especially when you're cold prospecting. So video is probably the next best tool that you could possibly use outside of face-to-face prospecting. Okay. So it builds trust. better than text or email alone. And then number three, it increases sales engagement, including your response rate, including dialogue, including even scheduling meetings. Okay. Now, you're rarely going to close a deal using video, but you can use it as the tool, the mechanism to push that sale to the next stage. It's great for getting appointments. It's great for building rapport. It's great for moving that sale to the next step. And of course, you're probably going to have to get on the phone or a Zoom call or face to face in order to finalize the terms of that deal. But ultimately, video is, again, a great way to get people's attention, a great way to build rapport and build trust, and an amazing way, obviously, to increase engagement in your sales efforts, which is one of the struggles that we all have, right? Now, the key to success here, I'm going to give you a few tips about doing these videos, all right? And then I'm going to try to play a video for you. I'm going to share a short video of an example of somebody, a salesperson who's using video as a way to do outreach. And this is just a simple example. There's 100 different ways to do this, okay? Now, the key to success is keep it short. I say if it's a prospecting video, a cold outreach, you're probably going to want to keep it, 30, 60, 90 seconds at the most. Now, if it's a follow-up video where you're following up with a prospect, or there's a specific question, or you've already been engaged with them in some way, shape, or form, face-to-face or over the phone, or even via some digital messaging, maybe those would be maybe 2 to 5 minutes, but you're probably going to want to keep these videos pretty short. Don't get too long-winded, okay? Number two, big tip here, research your prospect. Again, you have to research your prospect. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You need to gather sales intelligence. You need to figure out what's relevant, contextual, timely, and you need to speak their language, what's important to them, and then use that sales intelligence as a component of that video, right? And then number three, you need to customize every video to the prospect. You're not going to create some generic one-off video. Hi, my name is, right? You're going to use their name. You're going to use their customer name. You're going to shoot this video specifically for that prospect. And again, you're going to be using that sales intelligence that you gathered that I talked about in number two. Number four, you're going to want to add a call to action. You need to ask them to do something at the end of that video. Either it's reply back, schedule a meeting, something, right? Send you something, right? You need to add a call to action in that video. As you're talking, use that opportunity at the end to engage them, tap into their curiosity, tap into the momentum that you've created and the rapport you've built, and use a call to action in that video. And then number five, whenever you're sending a video via email or even LinkedIn, for example, like I shared with you, you're going to want to make sure you have a good subject line, a good title, right? You need to invoke curiosity, right? To get them to watch the video. Because again, these people are busy. Everybody's busy. But I can tell you that most people, most people surveyed, and the stat that I read recently was that 80% of people prefer video over text to consume their content. And so, yeah, those are a few tips. Now let me share with you really quick an example of a video that we're going to talk about. First, let me share with you this. All right. Yeah, no, we'll jump into that really quick. Let me share with you really quick. Boom. Share screen. Give me a moment. Okay. Share tab audio. Okay. Now we're going to open this up. And I'm going to play this video really quick. I'm hoping you can hear it. Tell me in the comments and confirm that you can hear it. This is an example, just one way that people are using video as a way to stand out from the crowd. Actually, hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second. I screwed up. All right, cool. Here it is. I'm going to start it over. Going to have to start that over. Sorry, I forgot to share it on the screen. Hopefully you can see it. And now you'll be able to hear it.
Hey, Rebecca, Morgan Gillespie here at Terminus. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Wanted to make this quick video for you because I've been doing some research on MapQuest and came across your LinkedIn profile. It looks like you are a beer connoisseur and you've worked with numerous beer companies. So wanted to kind of explain how account-based marketing can relate to a good craft beer. So if you look at that traditional sales or marketing funnel, you just put in a bunch of different leads and hope that they'll turn into revenue at the bottom of that funnel, which kind of amounts to a bunch of cheap beer, I guess you could say. And if you were to take that funnel and turn it upside down and focus on your best fit target accounts, Terminus comes into play, where we are able to put highly targeted display ads only in front of the key decision makers and job functions that you're selling to within those target accounts proactively. So think of this as the opposite of a retargeting ad. It's actually pre-targeting. So these people, they don't have to come.
Okay, so I think you guys get the point. The point is this. Do you see how that is different than just sending a text-based message? Do you see the power and the rapport? And do you see the clarity of the message? And do you see why it's so much more compelling than just using text? I mean, that girl did a fantastic job. I knew absolutely nothing about her company, right? I knew absolutely nothing about her, but I immediately liked her because her enthusiasm, her passion, her intelligence, her knowledge was all that I was left with at the end of that. And I have a high probability that I'm going to respond back to her, whether that be with a question or asking for information or to maybe just schedule a meeting to learn more, right? So that's a perfect example of a salesperson using video. Now, that wasn't a freight broker. And the reason why I couldn't find an example of a freight broker doing it. Now, maybe in the future, we'll do some additional trainings on this. But right now, I just wanted to share that with you. And here's how I'm going to kind of close it out. There are 4 different types of videos that I think salespeople can use in their prospecting efforts. All right. That was what I call a webcam intro, right? That's a webcam video that salesperson did. So you could just have a simple webcam video or a simple phone video off of your off of your smartphone, right? Just like I talked about with LinkedIn. So that's kind of a webcam talking head type video that I call it. Number 2, you could do a screen share. I just did a screen share, but you could do a screen share of a press release. You could do a screen share of their LinkedIn profile. You could do a screen share of an industry related article. You could do a screen share of almost anything and use that as the backdrop to the video and talk about that content as it relates to that. You could also do frequently asked questions. You could create a whole list of frequently asked questions and you could share those as a part of your follow-up process. But they come in video versus text. And another great way, one of my favorite ways to use video in the sales funnel is with customer testimonials, right? If you can get a customer to shoot a short 30, 60-second testimonial about you and about your company and about their experience, you will never find a better sales tool than that, okay? So those are a few things that I wanted to cover today. And I hope you enjoyed this Freight Broker sales hack to stand out from the crowd. If you guys enjoyed this, and you want to hear more content, more training related to how to use video, where maybe I can do a little bit deeper dive, make sure you comment below and let me know. I really want to hear from you, okay? And for those of you that are curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent, and you're just looking to get started up, maybe you're in that early phase of discovery and you're looking for something that can take you from A to Z, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. Been in business over a decade, trained over 10,000 students, and we have a 60-day, 100% unconditional money-back guarantee. Now, if you're looking for help on the sales side, this is a little bit more of a sales training video. And if you're looking for more help on the sales side and how to get shippers, and maybe you've made it past that initial startup phase and you really want to dig in deep, I have what's called my Freight Broker Sales Accelerator Program. That's a 5-week coaching program where I take that piece of my brain, I transplant it into your head, and I teach you everything I know about freight broker sales strategies, tactics, tools, and my entire freight broker sales system that allowed me to do over $200 million as a freight broker, okay? So you can check that out at freightbrokerbootcamp.com/waitlist. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, hit the like button, right? Hit the like button, share the stream, hit me up with the comments, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Freight Broker Bootcamp Live. All right, cool. Hang tight. Hang tight, everybody. Don't disappear. I'm going to do a giveaway, and then I'm going to do live Q&A. So let me grab a drink of my tasty Killcliff drink. And make sure that everything's good to go here. Tech's working. Everything's good. Let me remove this. Okay. Hold your questions. Do not type your questions in. We're not doing Q&A yet. All right. We're not doing questions yet. Hold your questions. Okay. Comments that you guys have. If you want to hear more training about how to do these videos, or maybe samples of these videos, or maybe scripts for these videos, you know, I can dig into this a little deeper. I'm actually thinking about doing an entire training about how to use a video as a prospecting tool. And I will probably ultimately end up including that in my Freight Broker Sales Accelerator program, right? Because I think is an important tool. I talk a little bit about it in the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator, but I don't hone in on it. And I think it's going to be an important part of that tool and of that program moving forward. Okay. You know, when I started freight brokerage back in 2003, this wasn't an option, right? Doing video back then wasn't an option. Now it became more and more possible over time. But as technology has improved, and as, you know, LinkedIn has added features like the ability to send video, and bandwidth has gotten stronger, right? Where video can stream and play easier and download. It's become much more viable today than it was back in 2003 or even 2016 when I sold my brokerage, right? I mean, that was 7 years ago now that I sold my brokerage. So, and since then I've heavily been focused on training and helping new people to try to replicate some of the success that I've had. And we've been very blessed, right? We've had some great students. Some of our top students now are doing $1 million to $2 million a month, right? And many others are doing 6 and 7 figures. So congrats to all of them. You've probably heard from many of them. All right, cool. All right, let's do a quick giveaway. All right, let's do a quick giveaway. Would you guys rather have a shirt? All right, so here, listen carefully. I need your response in the comments. Would you rather have a Freightpreneur t-shirt as the giveaway or $50 cash? Hit me up, and I'm gonna listen to what you guys say. If you'd rather have $50 cash or a Freightpreneur t-shirt, whatever, that's going to be the giveaway, and then I'll share with you exactly how to qualify for the giveaway. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you guys want me to give away. And hold tight, because I am going to be doing Q&A after this, okay? And that means you can ask me any questions you have, and I'll do my absolute best to try to answer them. Ellis says cash. Gary says 60 cash. Barbie says 50. Corey says shirt. Gary says cash. Alana wants a shirt. Paul says cash. All right, let's see what else we got here. Cash. All right, cash is the winner. All right, it was like 3-1, right? So it's not that I won't give away a shirt in the future, but if you guys want cash, we'll give away cash. All right, $50 isn't going to take you that far, but it's going to help you fill up your gas tank. Maybe you could go out and grab a lunch with your wife or your significant other. So here we go, guys. Here's all you got to do in order to qualify for the giveaway. The cool part about this is it doesn't matter where you are in the world, but you will have to have a PayPal account for me to pay you, right? So if you don't have a PayPal account, I'm not going to be able to help you, all right? I'm not going to be able to get you the money, right? I'm not going to send you a check or send you cash. If it doesn't go via PayPal, it ain't going, all right? So here's all you got to do. Pull out your smartphone. Apple, I got an Apple phone, right? If you don't have Apple, I'm not quite sure what you're thinking. But anyway, pull out your smartphone. Pull out your favorite podcast app. On Apple, there's a native podcast app. It's a purple icon. Just click podcast. It'll come up. Search for Freight Broker Bootcamp. You'll see the podcast come up. It's a free podcast. It costs you absolutely nothing, right? There's no cost for it. You'll see my bald, shiny head in the logo. All you need to do is rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, whether you're on Apple or Spotify or Google Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts or music. Go in there. Now, if you're on Android, you're not going to have the Google Podcast app. You'll probably have Spotify or Google Podcast or something. All you got to do is rate, review, and subscribe, and then tell me what platform. Rate, reviewed, subscribed on Apple. I rate, reviewed, subscribed on Spotify. I rate, reviewed, subscribed on Google Podcast, wherever it is. Okay. Most people are Apple or Spotify, but there's tons of other podcast apps out there. And again, this podcast is the best of the best audio training that I've ever done in all the time that I have Freight Broker Bootcamp. Over a decade worth of content I will distribute on that channel absolutely free, right? I think there's got to be over 100 videos now on there, or close to it, or 100 audios on there. And some of them are very different than the YouTube channel. Some of them are from webinars. Some of them are from coaching sessions. Some of them are from Q&As. You know, there's a whole variety of different types of content on there. And we've been very, very fortunate. You know, but what you guys got to do is you got to come back into the comments and you got to let me know that you rate, reviewed, subscribed on Apple, rate, reviewed, subscribed on whatever, Spotify or whatever. If you do that, that's what's going to enter you to win. Okay. So yeah, so you got to do that. Let me know. I'll wait for you guys. We're going to wait a minute or two. Everybody's got to go in there and rate, review, and subscribe. You got to do all three, and then you got to let me know that you did that. All right. On Schmidt, just saying Apple isn't going to work. You got to say rate, reviewed, subscribed, Apple. Okay. Just like Sean did. Rate, reviewed, subscribed, Apple. He did it perfect. What Sean McClevin did is perfect. McClevin. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, what Sean did on YouTube, he said rate, reviewed, and subscribed on Apple Podcasts. Perfect. Matter of fact, he's the only person that's done it right so far. Okay. Now Diane did it. All right. So it'll take you literally 60 seconds to do this, and you have a chance. You have probably are going to have a better than 1 in 10 chance of winning $50. I don't think you're going to have those odds any other place today. So anybody that does that will be entered for a chance to win the $50 cash, and then we'll go into live Q&A. But hold your questions, because if they fall into the comments during the giveaway, I will not see them. Okay, so hold tight on the comments or on the questions. Elke, all right. So we got quite a few people. We'll give it about another 30 seconds or so for people to rate, review, and subscribe on the podcast. And again, we have been ranked in the top 100 out of all all entrepreneur podcasts on Apple, right? And I promise you, there are tens of thousands of those podcasts, and we're one of the most popular podcasts out there, top 100. But not only that, but in the freight and logistics niche, we're definitely probably in the top 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 for sure. There are some other great podcasts out there, but if you just in the freight logistics niche, our podcast is definitely probably in the top 5 or 10. So thank you so much for everybody that does listen to the podcast. It's been a great experience. We've had amazing feedback from everybody. Okay, cool. All right. So listen, let's do the free giveaway. I'm going to do my very non-scientific version where I scroll through with my eyes closed, and I'm going to point to one person. That's going to be the lucky winner. And the lucky winner today is Zahid. Subscribed on Google Podcasts, rated and reviewed. He did it perfect. Well done. Thank you so much. Zahid, you are the winner. Here's all you got to do to win, to collect your prize, okay? I need you to message me either on LinkedIn or on my Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page, one of the two, and send me your full name, your PayPal email, and that you won the podcast subscribe $50 giveaway. And I'll shoot that off to you. I typically get it off within 24 to 48 hours after I receive the message from you, once I get it. So just send me your full name, the fact that you won the podcast subscribe t-shirt giveaway, or a $50 giveaway, not t-shirt giveaway, that you did the $50 giveaway, cash giveaway. And then make sure you include your PayPal email, and I will make sure I send that off to you via PayPal. Thank you so much, Zahid, and everybody for playing along. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Taria. Thank you, Elke. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for playing along. I'd love to hear, as you listen to new episodes. We put 2 new episodes a week out. They're free. 2 new audio episodes. Sometimes they're 2 or 3 minutes long. Sometimes they're 10 or 15 minutes long. It depends on the topic. But they're bite-sized pieces that you guys can dip into on a daily basis to enhance and improve your knowledge, to enhance and improve the opportunity of success in your freight brokerage or freight agency. Okay, cool. So here we go. Let's jump into live Q&A. I have a feeling that my My comments are going to get crushed. So type your questions in the chat box. I will do my absolute best to try to get to as many as I can. I definitely will not get to all of them. It's 12:30 my time. I'm sure that there are going to be more questions than there are time. All right, here's a question from Favor Scrubs LLC. I signed up for bootcamp course. I got my email and domain name secured. Should I get my virtual address before I get my LLC? Also, do you think it's a good idea to my LLC in Wyoming? I'm in Maryland. Okay. You're going to want to have whatever address you are going to use. Well, congratulations on signing up for bootcamp. Great job getting your email and domain set up, right? Should I get my virtual address set up? Whatever address you're going to want to use for your LLC or for your business address, you're going to want to have that beforehand. So if you're going to use some sort of a virtual address or your home or whatever, you're going to want to do that. Now, you can always change it later, but it's a little bit of extra paperwork, right? And maybe some additional costs. So yeah, you're probably going to want to have that address, whatever address you're going to use, okay? Also, do I think it's a good idea to incorporate in Wyoming or LLC in Wyoming? I'm assuming you're asking that because there are numerous states that don't have state tax. What states do not have state income tax? There are states, for example, there's 9 states in this article that show they do not have state income tax, right? Let's see, what are they? I'm not seeing them here, but they're okay. So, okay, got it. So yeah, Alaska's one, Florida's one, Nevada's one, South Dakota's one, Texas is one, Washington's one, Wyoming's one, Tennessee's one, New Hampshire's one. So there are no state income tax. I think those are the ones. So yeah, it's probably not a bad idea, if there is no state income tax. So yeah, it depends. Now, here's the thing, what you got to understand. If you're going to end up having an S corporation and that income is going to flow through to you, if you're going to elect to have an S corp as a part of that LLC, it's going to depend on the state that you're located in, right? So your personal taxes are going to be based upon that, the state that you're in, not necessarily the state you're incorporated in. So if you're going to have, if it's going to be a pass through like an S corp, you're going to want to consult an attorney on this. Or a legal or an accountant of some sort. I'm not a lawyer or an accountant, so I can't give you legal or financial advice, but I would definitely make sure that if you are going to have an S corporation or not, you're going to elect S status or not, because that's going to determine whether those incomes or losses flow directly through to you or whether they're paid separately through the LLC or corporation or whatever you have set up. So hope that helps. Okay, next link asks, can you show me how you send a video to your prospects on LinkedIn? Okay, I can't show you because I can't screen share my phone, but I can tell you that if you go into the link, you got to download the LinkedIn app, okay? And then you got to log in, right? You got to log into the app. And then once you're in the app, you're going to go to Messenger. And then you can open any message that you have, any message that you have with anybody. And you can go in. And in the, you'll see a little on the left-hand side on the bottom where it says write a message. Next to that, there's going to be a little paper clip. Okay. And on that paper clip, they're going to give you some drop-down options, right? I don't think you can see them, but it says send a document, take a photo, send a photo or video, take a video, send a GIF, right? Mention a person. So if you say take a video, it's going to give me the ability to pull myself up on video and talk on the camera. And then when I hit send, when I'm done with the video, I'll hit end. It'll show up in the LinkedIn Messenger and it'll go directly to whatever that prospect is. Okay. So I can't show you, but hopefully I talked you through and that helps. So you got to go into Messenger, click the paperclip, take a video, and then it'll send. Okay. Keep them short. Follow those tips I shared with you. TBD asks, what's your favorite niche and why? My favorite niche. It's hard for me to tell you exactly what niche, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a framework of how I would find a niche if I were to relaunch a new brokerage. Okay, what niche I would go after. Now, I have a lot of experience, so this may be different than you, but here's what you have to understand. The van niche is the most competitive, right? And then probably maybe reefer and flatbed or close seconds. And then when you start getting into specialized freight, right, whether that be heavy haul or over dimensional or even drayage, things of that nature, that's when you're going to start adding levels of complexity to the movement. Now, some people are afraid of complexity, okay, because they think, oh my God, it's complex, I'm going to screw it up. And as a new person, that's a legitimate concern. Unless you have some experience or you're willing to take some risk, that's a legitimate concern. Myself, I like complexity. And here's why I like complex freight. Complexity creates opportunity and margin. Okay, here's why. Because number one, there's less competition. The more complex a niche is, the less competition is there. Okay. Number two, the more complex, the less competition, the less options that shippers have. And therefore, with less competition, typically will increase opportunity for enhanced margin. So, niches that are a little bit more complex are, like partials are a little bit more complex, right? From a pricing perspective. Obviously overdimensional, high, wide, and heavy, that sort of stuff, right? Specialized movements like cranes and things of that nature. Drayage can be much more complex, whether that be rail or ocean or air drayage, right? That can be more complex. So, the more complexity, the more interested I am in the niche. Now, that may not be the best advice for you. Okay. You asked me, you didn't ask for you asked me. So if you're brand new to the industry, you're probably not going to want to go overly complex unless you have a bunch of experience. Now, if you were a truck driver that specialized in hauling heavy haul freight, well, then you've got understand a lot of that complexity already. So that might be a great entry point for you. But if you're someone who has no experience, jumping into heavy haul is probably not the best place to go without some real hands-on training, because you've got permits and you've got this specialized equipment and you have all this level of complexity. You got, man, it's a very complex niche, and you can get into a lot of trouble if you don't know what you're doing. So most new brokers start out in one of three modes: van, reefer, flatbed. Okay. Most of them are van and flatbed. They avoid reefer because of claims, because of enhanced claims. But yeah, I hope that helps. By the way, you do not need a CPA to set up your LLC. You can set up your LLC online in any state through their Secretary of State website. Go to the Secretary of State website and you can set up your corporation or LLC or whatever you want to set up there. You do not need an accountant to do it. Don't pay the extra fees. You can do it direct yourself. Every state has a step by step walkthrough process. I can't tell you how many corporations over the time that I've been in business. And I had the same question and the same fears initially, but it's just not that difficult. And if worst comes to worst, go to YouTube and say how to set up an LLC, and someone will walk you through an entire tutorial on how to do that. Socrates49 says, what's a reasonable price quote for a surety bond and what to look for in a bond company when making a decision? Okay. You're going to want to vet the company and find out how long they've been in business, right? You're going to want to find that out for sure. If they're a brand new company, I would probably be very hesitant, because there are a lot of companies coming and going in the bond space, right? Because, like anything else, as the market dips, right, out of this high, you got a lot of trucking companies fail. You got a lot of business failure. So there's more claims, right? So ultimately, you're going to want to make sure someone's been in business. Me, I would probably say, and this is just me personally, I'd want them in business probably at least 5 years, right? That would be my guesstimate. All right. So how long have they been in business, and validate that. Maybe talk to a few of their customers or get some testimonials. Rates can vary widely mainly based upon your credit rating. If you have bad credit, they might quote you $8,000 or $10,000. Okay. But if you have good credit, let's say you have an 800 credit score, just hypothetically, right? Really good credit, really good solid A credit. I've seen rates as low as $900. Where the bond cost typically falls into is somewhere between $1,000 and maybe $3,500 per year, heavily dependent on your credit. Now, if you don't have good credit and you can't afford an expensive bond, don't worry. Start as a freight agent. You have no licensing requirement, no bonding requirement, no certification, no exam, nothing. Okay? And you can become a freight agent and earn 50 to 70% of the profit on every single load, and build your book, build all your processes, build a business. And then if you choose, you can either stay as an agent or you could pivot off and start your own freight brokerage then. You'll have the money to do it then. You'll have the cash flow then to do it, right? And the experience in the book of business. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you can't make money as a freight agent, you're not going to make money as a freight broker. Freight broker is a little bit of added of complexity to it, and it's more expensive. Freight agents, you can get started for a few $100 as a freight agent. You can see that a bond can cost you a few thousand. So, depending upon your bond cost, which is your biggest startup cost as a broker, might cost you anywhere from a couple thousand, maybe up to 5,000 or more to get started, depending upon the training program you purchase and the bond and your website and all that, some of the decisions you make. But yeah, broker can get started for thousands of dollars. Agents can get started for hundreds of dollars. Okay. So I hope that helps. I love it. Anonymous. Do you think it's wrong for a shipper to receive a kickback from a carrier? Yes. Why is it wrong? It's wrong because it's wrong if that shipper, which they all do, has a policy that their employees cannot receive gifts or compensation outside of the compensation that they are paying them for their job. Then they agreed to that, and that's part of their employment, terms of employment, right? And if they break that, then they are operating unethically, and you should never promote that. Now, I know it happens, and some of you on here may have heard of it, may have done it, may have seen it, may have assumed it happened. But there are some providers out there, not just in the logistics industry. I'm talking about in every industry. I don't care what you're selling. They'll do kickbacks based upon the dollar volume that they spend. And in brokerage, maybe they'll kick back $5 or $10 a load to the traffic manager, to the logistics manager, and he's lining his pocket, and they're trying to use that as an incentive to continue using them or to use them more often. Now, just because it works doesn't mean it's right. I do believe it's unethical, and I don't believe in it personally. I know people who have done it. I had people who worked for me that did it, right? And and obviously once I found out, I discouraged it and tried to correct the situation. But yeah, it does happen. So, but I don't believe in it. No, I don't think it should happen. Okay, Motion, let me see if I understand this. How to arrange relocation for a load that needs transload, devanning, palletizing out of a port or rail. It's going to be hard to answer this one, but I mean, you're going to have to find a warehouse of some sort that's going to allow you, that's going to help you do this. I mean, I don't know, the exact shipper requirements, but whenever you're talking about transloading and palletizing freight, you're going to be working with some sort of a warehouse. The shipper may require a bonded warehouse. It depends. I can't give you the exact answer to this question because I don't know all the criteria. But to me, you're going to have to find some sort of a warehouse or cross dock or something where they're going to help you. Now, there's going to be a charge for that, of course. And you obviously can charge that to your shipper as a part of the quote. And again, I don't know the circumstances, but I hope that Legion starts getting you in the right direction. Thanks, Motion. Good to see you, my friend. All right, I'm scrolling. Okay, here's a question from Ronald. I'm a freight agent. I'm totally struggling to get shippers. I've been cold calling and emailing for months, for a month and a half, and absolutely no shippers have signed on with me. It's like they despise us. Okay. All right. Well, Ronald, I'm sorry to hear that you haven't had as much success as you wanted, but I don't know all the circumstances. And again, I can tell you that, just because you've been doing this for a month and a half doesn't mean that you have been doing all the right things for a month and a half. Now, I know that it's a learning experience when you first start. Your first call versus your 10th call versus your 100th call versus your 1,000th call, you're going to get better, right? The key is you got to stay in the game. I'm going to give you some tips on how you can increase your odds of success, but I can't guarantee it, right? I don't even know you. I don't know enough about you. So it's hard for me to say anything. So I'm going to tell you that don't use some generic cold call script that you found on YouTube or online. Don't use the script of, hi, my name's Dennis. We have trucks in your area regularly, and I thought we might be able to move some of your freight. Okay. If you knew how many times they've heard that and how bored they are of hearing that and how many people have lied to them and disappointed them that said that, you do not want to fall into that bucket. Be different, be unique. Don't sound like every other freight broker out there. That is one of your biggest challenges. Sound different, be different. The whole lesson today, the training today was how to stand out from the crowd using video, right? This is what I teach heavily in my Freight Broker Sales Accelerator program. Okay. And again, you guys can check that out. We'll probably at freightbrokerbootcamp.com/waitlist. You can get on the waitlist. It's the only way you can get enrolled in that program. freightbrokerbootcamp.com/waitlist. It's closed right now. It's sold out. And then I'm going on vacation for a couple of weeks. And then when I get back within a month or two, within a couple of months, we'll probably open it back up for enrollment. But yeah, you definitely want to get on that wait list. Now, your question, oh shoot, I think I lost it. Sorry. Be different. Okay. Don't focus on price. If you focus on price, they're going to focus on price. Couple tips. Gather sales intelligence, right? Be relevant, create a compelling sales hook, right? Those are some of the things you need to do in order to start getting, if you are quoting freight and you are constantly getting, you're too expensive, then you need to sharpen your pencil and learn how to negotiate and get the best spot market cost, right? For your lanes. Don't use rating tools to do your rates. Those are a complete waste of time if you think you're going to use those independently, put them in, and then just put that rate in there or add your markup. You're always going to be, almost always going to be high or almost always going to be too low. In most cases, you're going to be too high, okay? So use those as a gauge, but you need to get your rates direct from shippers or from carriers, whether that be you posting on load boards or calling on carriers from load boards, lane history, things of that nature. Those are some of the biggest things. Learn how to build rapport, right? I don't know. I as much as you've struggled, I've had tons of other students that are having record months, right? They're having great months. They're having new customers come on. So, I feel sorry that you're struggling, but the key is you can't give up. But you do have to learn from your mistakes. If you continue to do the same things over and over again, right, and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. That's why you're asking me. So hopefully you can take some of those tips. Again, it'd be very hard for me to give you anything really specific to you because I don't know you and we can't have a dialogue. That's part of why that Freight Broker Sales Accelerator is so powerful, because I coach you one-on-one, right? I mean, it's a group coaching, but when you have challenges or issues, you come up and we talk one-on-one in a Zoom video screen, and we break that issue down and we dive in, right? And we really peel it apart. So that's why that Freight Broker Sales Accelerator program is so powerful and popular. Hope that helps, Ronald. Okay, so great says most agent jobs are asking to have your book of business and 1 year experience. As any routes I can go as an agent with minimum experience and no book of business? Yeah, stop trying to go to the biggest companies out there that are advertising agent businesses. Don't go to the big companies. If you go to a large company that is looking for agents, they're going to want a book of business. Don't waste your time. I did an entire training on how to do this. Go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/blog and then search get hired. There's a little search box in there that'll search all my blog posts. Get hired. It'll pull up a blog post with a video, and you can even download a kind of a cheat sheet on how to get hired as an agent without a book of business, without experience. Okay. That's step one. Step two, you can also go to, I created a job board, right? Where any freight broker, freight agent can go and post a job, or any freight broker, freight agent can go and apply for a job. Absolutely free. Cost you nothing. freightbrokerbootcamp.com/jobs. That will bring you to a job board where some of those people that are posting job ads are going to require experience. Most of them do not. I can see, historically speaking, more than half of the job ads for freight brokers and freight agents that have been posted on that job board require no book of business and no experience, especially if you went through my Freight Broker Bootcamp training. Most of them will say, if you were trained on Freight Broker Bootcamp, we're not going to require experience. Some of them do that. Okay. So those would be the two things that I would suggest to you or anybody. But don't believe what everybody's saying about, hey, you have to have a book of business to become an agent. You don't. You just can't go after companies that require that. You got to go other places. So, in that training, I walk through how to start local and focus on small to medium-sized companies and pitch a win-win solution to them on how they can get customers and generate revenue with zero risk. Okay? Matter of fact, I've never had one person ever come back to me and say, I did exactly what you told me and I couldn't get hired. Never, not one time. So that's my challenge to you. Question. Edward says, is it a conflict of interest having my trucking company and dispatch the owner operators? So you're a trucking company and you have owner operators that are leased onto you, and you have a separate company that's dispatching and you're charging them for dispatch. It could be. I know why you're asking the question. It could be. The key there is you have to disclose, and as long as the owner operators are okay with it, you know what? I don't know. The new ruling about dispatch might change that, right? I don't know if you can be compensated as a carrier for doing dispatch on your own trucks. That's a good question. I'm not positive. Prior to the ruling on the new dispatch ruling, right, which I did a video on, you can go on my YouTube channel, right? That isn't even released yet. I did a live on it a while ago about the new ruling about dispatch that came down in June from the FMCSA. Prior to then, I would have said, as long as you disclose it to the owner operators, you'd have been all right. But now, based on those new guidelines, I'm not quite sure. So I would review those guidelines, the new FMCSA dispatching guidelines, and that will probably fill in the gaps for you. And plus, I can't give you legal advice, but that's my opinion as it stands right now. Should I use a financial advisor and a CPA as a first-year broker? honestly, you probably don't need one. Most first-year brokers probably don't need one. What you will need is you'll need some, if you don't know how to do basic bookkeeping, you'll need a bookkeeper, but you might not need a CPA or a financial advisor. A financial advisor, really, the financial advisors make money off of money that they manage and invest for you. So you're probably not going to need a financial advisor unless you're paying somebody an hourly rate, which would probably be pretty expensive. Most of that information and answers you could probably get on YouTube or online for free. As far as a CPA, you don't necessarily need a CPA to do your basic accounting, particularly your first year, but you're going to need somebody who's a bookkeeper. CPAs are a lot more expensive than a bookkeeper. You could probably pay a bookkeeper 20 to 30 bucks an hour. A CPA is going to charge you, probably 75 to 150 or $200 an hour, right? So it depends, but I don't think you need a CPA. You definitely don't need a financial advisor, in my opinion. Mike, this is a tough one. How do you pay out a load for a driver who makes 3/4 or half the way to the destination, but doesn't complete the delivery? Typically, you don't, because they did not complete the contract, right? You paid them to go from A to B X amount, and they only went half of that distance. And then for whatever reason, their truck broke down, they got sick, whatever, they can't deliver at the rest. The problem you're going to have is that you're going to have to find somebody halfway through that load to pick it up and bring it to that other location in a timely manner, which means you may actually have to pay that new carrier as much as you were going to pay the old carrier just to go half the distance. So in most cases, carriers don't get paid by brokers if they don't deliver the load. Okay? Because again, it's not you go halfway and then the other half you're going to be able to pay half to someone else. It typically doesn't work that way. You're going to need to turn that around quickly, which means you're going to have to pay a premium. So again, the carrier that covered the first half might have got paid $1,000 just for easy math, to go from A to Z, but he only went halfway. So you can't pay him $500 and think that $500 is going to work for the rest, and the shipper's not going to pay for it because they only agreed to $1,000. You may cost you the whole $1,000 just to go from the second half of that load, right? To get it delivered in a timely manner. So in most cases, carriers are not going to get paid for that. Scott asks, how do we manage to coordinate between different parties to ensure timely delivery of goods? All right. So as a broker, you get your order from the shipper, right? They have a load picking up from Buffalo to Atlanta. It goes on a van. It picks up tomorrow, delivers 2 days later. Okay. So you get the order from the shipper. They give you all the details, all the specifics that you need, PO numbers, everything you need in order to pick that load up. Okay. Pickup locations, delivery locations, the details on the freight, all of it, right? So you get the order from them and you organize that, make sure you have all the questions answered. Then you're going to find a carrier, and that carrier is going to ask you the address for pickup, the address for delivery. They're going to ask you all this stuff, right? It's also going to be on the bill of lading that they're going to get at the point of pickup. But the point is that you as a broker coordinate with the shipper. So you're going to have one contact at the shipper, and you're typically going to want to have 1 or 2 contacts at the carrier, the dispatcher and maybe the driver or both, depending if it's an owner operator or a small fleet. So you will coordinate with them on dispatching them into the pickup location. You're going to do regular check calls with them to make sure that they picked up and that they're on time to deliver it. After delivery, they're going to let you know they delivered on time. So yeah, there's some communications that usually happens via 1 of 3 things: phone, text, or email. So yes, your job as a broker is to manage that freight. You're a freight manager. So you need to stay on top of that. You can't just cover the load and give them a rate confirmation and assume that they're going to do the rest. No, you will manage that process, right? So that's part of being a freight broker. So I hope that helps. June Davis asks, how do I create a proposal to pitch a customer, and how do I utilize the information in the shipper database? Do I call the numbers provided? Who do I ask to speak with typically? Okay, so proposal for shippers. Your proposal for shippers are very informal, okay? The sales process goes like this. You speak to a prospect, shipping manager, warehouse manager, logistics manager, right? You build rapport. You identify a need. They ask you for a freight quote. You provide a freight quote, whether that be via email or over the phone, or typically in some form of email. They want it in writing. Those proposals are very informal. It's not like you have to go put together a PowerPoint or a 27-page proposal and send it to them. They're very informal, which is a great part of the process, okay? So the proposals are informal. A lot of times they come in the form of emails or Excel spreadsheets or Google Sheets, all right? So that's a proposal side. The shipper database inside of Freight Broker Bootcamp, there's 100,000 plus manufacturers, distributors, shippers, people that make product that needs to ship product, okay? So they have the company names, the addresses, the phone numbers, the website, sometimes an email, but ultimately they have some contact information. You're going to identify your niche, whatever that is, oil and gas, steel, plastics, bottled beverages, whatever it is. You can search it. It'll pull up a list. And then at that point, you're going to contact those companies. Now, they don't have the exact name of the person or the contact there. Again, that data is super expensive. By the way, if you went to Zoom Info or something like that, that's what they charge $15,000 or $20,000 a year for. You could pay that. But this database was free. So you don't get that contact. You don't get the exact contact's name and their personal email. That data is super expensive, right? So the people that you will reach out to are typically shipping managers, warehouse managers, logistics managers, transportation managers, operations managers. Those are the typical 4 or 5 that you're going to ask for, or you're going to target. Okay. So I hope that helps, June. Good question. All right, guys, listen, that's going to wrap it up for today. Listen, if you're curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. Again, we've trained over 10,000 students, been in business well over a decade, and we offer a 60-day, 100% unconditional money-back guarantee, okay? So you can try it with no fear. If you're not happy in the first 60 days, just send us an email and we'll send you your money back, no questions asked, okay? Now, if you need help getting shippers, like a bunch of questions were involved today, I know I can't get you into the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator today. It's been sold out. Sorry, not sorry. I gave you guys an opportunity. If you're just coming to the table, get on the wait list, okay? freightbrokerbootcamp.com/wait list. If you get on that wait list, you will be the first to be notified when I open it back up for enrollment. You'll have all the details. You'll have everything that's going to be included in the program. You'll have the price, which is going to go up, right? It goes up fairly regularly now. And so, yeah, you're going to have all those details in the text, and you can enroll right over your phone and get instant access to all that information, all that training, right? And if it's the live coaching program, then I'm going to coach you for 5 weeks. If you're not on the wait list, okay, it costs you nothing to get on the wait list. If you're not on the wait list, you'll have 0 chance you'll be able to get involved. It's just the way it is. It sells out within 3 to 5 days, typically every time I open it up, okay? Last time I had to actually open up a few extra seats. So listen, if you need any help in sales, that is by far the best program I've ever put together in my career. We survey every student. Okay, we send a survey to every student after they complete it, after they complete the program. And we ask them one very important question. Rank your experience from 1 to 10. 1 meaning it was horrible. This is a complete waste of money. 10 meaning this was exactly what I was looking for, exactly what I needed. And I'm so happy I did it. I would have been happy with a 7. I'd have been ecstatic with an 8. So far, the average on that has been a 9.2 out of 10. That's not me telling you that. That's the survey. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that survey in a visual here so you guys can you can see all of the people that have done this. I've had over 500 people go through this program. Hundreds of people have completed the survey, and that's how they rate it, the experience as a whole. The biggest thing you're going to take from this is 2 things. You're going to have the confidence that you need in order to go out and effectively sell freight brokerage. And you're going to have a system that you can follow, and you can just go step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. It's that simple. Okay. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to be leaving for vacation very soon. I will have my live next Monday on the 31st, but I'm not sure about the following 2 weeks because I'm going to be traveling. So I'll keep you posted on that, but I am going to Greece with my family for a couple of weeks. We're going to do some island hopping in Greece, have some fun, have some sun. I know there's some fires over there right now on a couple of the islands, but we're not too worried about that. It's not the islands we were planning on visiting. So I will see you next week on another Freight Broker Bootcamp Live, Monday at noon. Make sure you set an alarm or a reminder on your phone, check your email, check social media, and I'll see you there next Monday at noon for another Freight Broker Bootcamp Live. Thanks all. Appreciate you guys being here.